Monsters vs. Aliens is kind of an infamous DreamWorks movie, kind of, because it's really not that well known nowadays, despite the fact that this was going to be at one point in the next DreamWorks franchise, which unfortunately for them didn't happen. It got a short film and actually a TV series, which I actually looked at first, just for reference, to see what it's like. Yes, I bet you guys didn't know there's a TV series based on this movie. It came out like years later, and that's probably why I never knew about it. And ironically enough, even though the animation looks bad, it actually looks less uncanny than the actual movie, which we're going to get to now. The designs of the humans in this movie are awful. Every character, including the main character, look like crap. They are so uncanny and look disgusting. Like, ugh, I know DreamWorks have had some weird-looking humans in the background of some of the movies, but they weren't a main focus, and they didn't look this bad. So this is our main character here. Her name is Susan, and she is one of the blandest protagonists ever. Her only goal is to be with this guy, and that's about it. And then she's like, no, I don't want to be this guy anymore. I want to be a monster. That's her two character personalities. If that seems like it's very clashing, it's because it is. Also, the guy she wants to bang is an asshole, I guess. Not really. He's kind of like boring asshole. He's like, I want to be in TV, kind of, and I don't really like being with a giant bitch. Or something like that. It's really lame. And very shortly in the movie, she died. So actually, she survives a kind of an asteroid, but uh-oh, she's gonna grow. So the asteroid, for some reason, makes her grow and become really thick. Like, if somebody has a giantess fetish, they probably got it from this movie, let's be honest. So I know somebody's right now in the audience is getting a boner right now. And that is kind of disturbing. So the military take her to this secret base, which is basically Area 51, but they never say that for whatever reason. We get introduced to our other monsters, who really aren't that well developed. We get a living cricket guy. He's a scientist, but he's a cricket. Heavily based off the Fly movie. All these characters are based off 50s B movies, and that's mostly what the characters are. Remember, do you know this 50s B movie? Well, I do, but it doesn't really matter because the general audience or kids don't know what it is, and they don't really do anything with it. They kind of just like reference it, and that's about it. Do you remember The Fly? Do you remember The Blob? This is The Blob, but instead of being named Blob, he's Bob! He's voiced by Seth Rogen in a really annoying performance. I don't think your parents like me. I think that Jello gave me a fake phone number. So Blob has one of the worst character traits, is that he's dumb. Like, really dumb, because he has no brain. Get it? He has no brain, so he's retarded. It's not really funny at all. It's really forced comedy. Everything's like, he does the opposite of what everyone says. Like, breathe! Oh, I forgot how to breathe! And hello, goodbye! Is that funny? If you find that funny, this character's for you. There's also this guy who is also really sucks. He's the missing link, and he has no character. I guess he tries to show off, and that's about it. He looks kind of lame. He's based off the creature from Black Lagoon, obviously. And yeah, that's his character. He's lame. It's not really that interesting, but beside that. And the last monster is Insectosaurus, who's technically the coolest one, because he's based off a kaiju. And he's actually really giant. You'd think they'd be used this character later in the movie, but no, they don't. And obviously, if you couldn't tell, this is based off Mothra. I don't know why I didn't tell you that. It's so fucking obvious. You also get this joke that they played in the trailers all the time for some reason. It's not funny, but they kept playing it over and over.
Look out! Here comes
Susan.
Really? Susan!
Was that funny? Because I didn't laugh at all. And I am so desensitized to that because they played it all the time. And I don't know why. It's not funny. So we've seen the monsters blow up the aliens. Well, there's only one alien, so the title's kind of a lie. But he sends a giant mech to try to get some precious resources so he can build a new society. The villain kind of sucks too, but we'll get to that. So the president, who has a really ugly design, and I have no idea who he's parodying at all. Like, who is he supposed to reference? Because I don't know, and I know a lot about president stuff. He's obviously not Obama was the president at the time. Or George W. Bush. He looks nothing like him. And, who is this guy supposed to reference? I don't get it. And he does one of the dumbest things in any movie, just to say hello to the alien. He plays on his synth keyboard. What the fuck? Well, yeah, spoiler alert, this doesn't work as the, giant robot attacks them. And that's when they decide, we should bring out the monsters who they had there for the facility. They never had any plans for the monsters. They had them for like 50 years. And now they're like, hey, maybe it's a good time to bring them out. Also, gotta mention one thing about this movie. This movie was made with 3D in mind, so we get a bunch of scenes like this, which I know is a reference to another old 3D movie, but they have a lot of stupid shit like that. They go up in the screen randomly, and it's awful. A lot of movies in 2009, 2010, only that era, they did this, even though, ironically enough, DreamWorks had a famous 3D movie, but it wasn't this movie, and that movie didn't have anything like that. So yeah, by the way, if you're making a movie that's going in 3D, don't shove stuff in your face. It just makes your movie look really dated. It looked dated in the 50s and it looks dated now, especially for movies like this and Saw 3D. There's also this show, which I gotta say thought that was more clever than they thought. Instead of the jock trying to get with the girl's trying to get with the jock, and the jock doesn't want to have sex with her. Isn't that funny? Not really. It's really badly delivered. So the president thinks it's a good idea to press the nuke button. Okay, that didn't really happen, but this guy had to scan his ass, which is one of the reasons I wanted to watch this as a kid. Yeah, this guy had to scan all his body parts, including his ass, which I thought was so funny. And I wanted to see this movie because I thought that was really funny. I was like, that's a good concept. Monsters and aliens, it's gonna be really cool. Spoiler alert: when I watched it, like, this movie's shit. I never watched it until, well, recently. So this journal army guy is like, let's send out these monsters here. And every time they introduce a new monster, someone's screaming, and they play it over and over again. It's like, it wasn't really funny the first time, the second time wasn't funny, and the last time it's not funny either. Just because the president's screaming now doesn't make it funny. Like, stop it. Get some help. Also, off-screen, Susan, or Ginormica is her new name, becomes friends with the monsters. Well, how and whether their connection? I don't know. They showed it happens off-screen, and they have barely any character development or connection. It's just very, very weird. So they send the monsters to attack a giant alien. Now, this is kind of stupid because what are these three idiots going to do? They're too small. Bob's a fucking goo. He's fucking useless. One guy's a creature. One guy's a scientist. You think they'd use him for different things rather than being out in the field. Because if he's really smart, which he apparently is, then he would invent crap to help him out. But nope, he's in the front like he's going to fight, which is really stupid. Now, and they have a really good monster to attack it, being the was Insectosaurus or Mothra ripoff, but they don't use him at the end. He's the easiest monster control too, and they don't use it till the very end of the fight. What were they thinking? The government's stupid. So the monsters easily defeat the giant robot alien mech, which is kind of like, okay, whatever. The fight scene was not very good, especially since DreamWorks should have been how to make fight scenes, seeing as they made Kung Fu Panda, which had some of the best fight scenes in movie history. But what the hell ever, the animation and the fight scenes weren't very great. Oddly enough, this movie doesn't look very good, despite the fact that I think it has one of the highest budgets of any DreamWorks movie. I don't understand it at all. Also, yeah, these monsters are free to go now, which doesn't really make much sense, because some of them really should not be let go. Like, really, there's no one watching them from the government. I don't get it. They were like, locked down for years, but now they can go free and terrorize if they want. But I guess they're not bad guys, they don't. So the monsters go to a party where Bob tries to flirt with Jello, but it doesn't give him his number. Oh, and instead of waiting for her fiance to get off work, she decides it's a good idea to break open a window and grab him without his consent. Like, geez, Louise, Susan, personal boundary. So she is shocked when he's not too happy to find out that he was trying to assault him, and I guess he breaks up with her. I mean, he's kind of shallow, so it doesn't really matter. But she's very upset because she has no goals other than fucking this guy. Like, quite literally, she starts off, I want to marry this guy, and that's about it. And later on, it's like, nope, I want to be a monster. If she had some character beforehand, we'd at least be interested best in this character. But like I said, we only know that she wants this guy. This guy's not very interesting, so we don't care about that. And he breaks it off immediately. So it sucks. This movie, the main character has a bad growth and relationship with every character around her. That's not good writing. Like, what the fuck, DreamWorks? You should do better than this. You can do better. This is our main villain, by the way, Galaxar. He sucks. They casted an actual actor who I think would do a great job in this role, Rainn Wilson, who you guys probably know as Dwight from The Office. And he has a really good voice performance, but he's given nothing to do with it. This character's written terribly. It's written like this guy has some big twist why he's doing it the way he thinks he does. But instead of like showcasing or revealing this, they do it as a fucking joke.
When I was but a squid, I found out my parents were... No child.
Like, I was actually kind of interested, like, what? I forgot this guy's motivation. His motivation is he destroyed his planet, and he wants to find a new planet. He acts like it was some tragic event, but it's like, no, I destroyed it. So I don't get this character. It's not really, like I said, they didn't give anything funny to do, because this scene is more stupid than funny. And I'm not joking, his character is really, really dumb. Or specifically, his clones are dumb. So yeah, he's a bunch of clones of himself, but they're not really true clones, because they didn't copy his brain, I guess, because all of them are really stupid. So yes, they fall for this horrible disguise. Like, I don't understand. How come the other Galaxars, whatever the hell his name is, knows that these characters here don't have the same giant blue head as they do? Mega Mind looking ass. But I do find that the fact that their design is kind of similar to a future DreamWorks film known as Megamind is kind of similar, but not in the same way. He obviously looks uglier than that character, but I find that very interesting. So you think the mad scientist guy would have to find a clever way to break into, to hack into the computer to make it self-destruct? But what he actually does is play Dance Dance Revolution! Isn't that great? Well, yeah, I thought there was going to be some battle with all these clones, because, you think that'd be what they're setting up, because they're monsters, so you know how to fight, but they don't, really at all. That's like the only time one of them gets punched, so what the heck? So as the spaceship explodes, and it tells a terrible joke, I'm not going to play it because you've probably seen it before, and they escape on a Sectosaurus, who, by the way, wasn't even part of the final fight, because he died, or not really, he came back as a butterfly, I guess. Really, really, really dumb. Also, Susan breaks up with her old boyfriend, and he dies. Well, not really, he doesn't die, but it'd be funny if he did. And that was Monsters vs. Aliens. A neat concept, badly executed, and I think this one tarnished DreamWorks worse than any other movie. I've kind of explained why this movie doesn't work. The animation looks really bad. The main monsters don't look too awful. They're a little bit marketable, but the human designs are just really ugly. The humor falls flat, feels very juvenile. When DreamWorks usually tries to do more like adult jokes, when I mean adult jokes, not only just like kind of like wink wink like sex jokes, stuff like that. They're more complicated and nuanced jokes that even they had smarter stuff. This movie just felt really dumb. There's a lot of areas where they could tell a smart joke and they just don't. They tell the low-brow, common poopy jokes. The characters aren't very good. It's a lot of this should be an interesting movie, but it's really not. Susan is the biggest problem. Her character is so nothing. Her main motivation is, I want to be with this guy, and then I guess want to be normal, and then she's like, no, I want to be a monster. And it doesn't really correlate. They should have really showcased her life beforehand to give us an idea what her personality is, or the fact that she wants to go to Paris and be with this one guy. But like I said, it just doesn't work at all. And the side characters don't really help much either. The scientist guy is supposed to be smart, the cockroach guy, but he keeps doing really dumb things. The missing link has no personality whatsoever other than being, oh, I got chlorine in my eyes, and crap like that, or I'm bummed because I didn't get a good workout or something like that. And Bob's character is he's stupid, not very funny. And the Mothra ripoff, the Insectosaurus, just does nothing. It has no character or personality. They don't use it at all to anything advantage. And the villain is the biggest waste of talent ever. The idea of Dwight being an alien villain should be really funny, and they fucked it up by making it really stupid. So overall, Monsters vs. Aliens sucks. Monsters vs. Aliens is going at the bottom of the tier list, mostly because it gives us so little. It was supposed to be a franchise starter, and it made a good amount of money, but they never made a sequel, but they made a bunch of spin-offs because they wanted to see if this franchise could do anything, and it really didn't. It just flopped like a fish. And I was really tempted to, whether Shrek the Third or this is worse, and I remember having a better time watching Shrek the Third. At least Shrek the Third looks completely animated. It doesn't have disgusting looking. I know some of the new characters don't look great, but they don't look fucking disgusting. Monsters vs. Aliens just fails miserably in every way. Shrek the Third, it sucks. Don't get me wrong, but it's not it didn't really ruin the Shrek franchise like other bad sequels. Monsters vs. Aliens ruined a good premise, so instead of getting one good movie, or maybe a franchise, we got a really crappy movie. I don't know about the short films. I don't plan on watching any of those, but if you guys look at this DreamWorks marathon enough, I might do other DreamWorks related things, but I'm probably not going to do that anytime soon. But overall, Monsters vs. Aliens is just a wasted opportunity. And to tarnish the brand, thinking, oh, it's no longer just DreamWorks is no longer a film studio that makes more adult-based anime movies. Not like they're adult, but they lean more into that audience, while as well appealing to kids. Now we're purely kid fluff and ugly-looking character designs. It affected different feature movies going forward, mostly Megamind, which looks similar to Monsters vs. Aliens, but trust me, is way better. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Do I need to say anything about Galaxar that I didn't say already? It's one of the biggest wasted opportunities. The design is okay. It's not the worst looking, but it could be improved a bit on. The actor they chose to play him is like a 10 out of 10 choice. Great voice. He doesn't really do a lot of voice acting, but Rainn Wilson does a great performance for what little character we get. And that's the reason why he's so far down low. He might be not the worst villain, but the fact that they could have made a funny villain, they failed. Also, the fact that there really should have been a government-based villain based on how weird the government is in the movie, but they don't do jack shit with that. So yeah, fuck this movie. next time we are going to watch some good movies. Thank goodness. We got 3 good movies coming. And I believe the next film is How to Train Your Dragon, so stay tuned for that.